2.3 linear function. In this section, we are going to learn how to find the slope. Interpret the slope as a rate of change. Find the slopes of horizontal and the vertical line. And find the slope of parallel and the perpendicular lines. The slope of a non-vertical line, which is, it could be a positive, it's a going up direction line. You might have the slope toward to this direction, or going down direction, or a horizontal line direction. But not a vertical, because the vertical line has no slope. And we use this formula to find the slope. So the slope is equal changes in y over changes in x. And we also give the formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But your x2 cannot be equal to x1, which is you cannot get a 0 on the bottom. So we do this example. Find the slope of the line passing through P and Q. So I'm going to label this as x1, y1, and here is x2, y2. So finding the slope, we plug in the y2 into the formula, which is a minus y1 is negative 2 over x2 is 7 and the x1 is negative 1. Now this double negative sign turn to the positive, so turn to the 10 over a. So you reduce 10 over a, simplify 10 over a is 5 over 4. So this is a positive slope, 5 over 4. The slope of the line is 5 over 4, is a positive slope. So you will have the going up direction. Interpret the slope as a rate of change. So the rate of change is the same meaning as the slope. So this is a slope. In algebra, we go with the slope. In calculus, we go with the rate of change. For a linear function, the rate of change is constant. If the graph of our function is not aligned, we can use the slope formula to calculate an average rate of change. And this would be the formula. And they use this one when you have the cal 1. So f of b, this is y, right? This is y2, this is y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the same meaning. We look at example. If carpet for hotel room cost 25 per square yard plus a delivery charge of 30, the total cost C of x square yards is given by the linear function. Now we have to graph the equation and interpret the slope of the line. So graph the equation. When I look at this function, I know this number represents the slope. And this number represents the b value, which is your y-intercept. So we can sketch the graph. Because this question, the x is represent the square yard. Okay, so we only look at the positive x-axis. There's no way you get a negative square yard. So we only look at the quadrant 1. So this is x. So when x equals 0, let me put an x, y here. So this question, we might have to use a table. Okay, so when x equals 0, I plug in 0 into here. I will get a y is 30. This is C of x. So the initial point would be 30. This is 30. When x equals 1, y will be equal to 55. So 1 paired with 55, this will be 60. So 55 is about here. When x equals 2, y equal 80. So this would be 90. And this is 2. Okay. So if I continue to build up the x number, the y value will getting larger and larger. But I know the initial point is here. So when I combine all the dots, it will go to, the graph will tend to going up direction forever. So this is a graph of this function. Now we have to interpret this, interpret the slope of the line. That means for every square yard, the cost of the carpet will increase by $25. Okay, per each square yard, the cost of the carpet will increase by $25. Let's see here. The rate of change of the cost of the carpet is 25 when the square footage changes by 1 yard. So right, the way I just interpret it is shorter. I just say per each square yard, the cost of change of the carpet is $25. Okay. Find the slope of the horizontal line and the vertical line. Earlier I mentioned this one already. When you have a horizontal line, the slope is 0. That's all the thing you need to know. The vertical line, no slope. And that's it. That's all the thing you need to know. Okay. Now finding the parallel and the perpendicular. Slope of the parallel line, non-vertical parallel line have the same slope, and the lines having the same slope are parallel. Since vertical lines are parallel, line with undefined slope are parallel. Right here, in other words, if I have two lines tend to the same direction, L1 and L2, these two lines, they are parallel. So the slope, these two, they have the same slope. Or going down direction, if two lines are parallel, the slope, they must be equal. If two lines are vertical, both of lines are vertical and they are parallel, I mean this is no slope. Of course, this is no slope. Two lines, they are horizontal and they are parallel, so that means the slope, this is 0, this is 0. Okay. The lines in the figure, they are parallel. We need to find a y. So y is here. We need to find this point. So the red line, I have x and y, right? I have two unknowns, so I cannot find the slope here. Or you can just look at the graph to count the rise over run. That's one way. But the easier way I can use is use a blue line. Since I know the P and Q, so from here I can find the slope of the P and Q. So the slope of the PQ is equal, I'm going to label this as x1, y1. This will be the x2, y2. So I use the y2 minus y1, so negative 2 minus 4 over 1 minus negative 3. So you have negative 6 over 4, which is negative 3 over 2. So the slope of the blue line is negative 3 over 2. Since the red line is parallel with the blue line, for sure the slope of the red line is negative 3 over 2. So now I'm going to use these 2 points, use the R and the S, because the question asks us to find a y. So I'm going to label this as x1, y1. This will be x2, y2. So I'm going to use a y2 minus y1, which is pi, over x2 is 3 minus negative 2. So you have negative 3 over 2 is equal y2 minus pi over 5. Now we can butterfly multiply when you have a fraction equal another fraction. So times negative 3 and 5, I will get a negative 15 is equal to multiply y2 minus 5. So I'm going to bring here. Now I'm going to have negative 15 equal to y2 minus 10. So 2y2 is equal negative 5. That means the y2 is negative 5 over 2. So your y, we just label the y as a y2. So this is a y. The y value is negative 5 over 2.